4th First Lady of the United States. She did that with style, she did it with grace, and a big old open heart. She made us always feel like the White House was really our house, the people's house. She is your hometown girl from the south side of Chicago. Welcome, Michelle Obamaaa! Okay, everybody.
Wow.
All right, United Center. Have a seat.
We're home.
We're home.
Yeah, feels good.
I gotta say, every time I fly into the city, because the city was a city of so many blessings to me, I get a little lump, a little flip-flop.
Yeah.
And so when you're flying in now, coming home after all this place has given and nurtured you, what does that feel like?
Oh, well, first I try to trace every inch. When we're flying in, I try to point out all the neighborhoods. I was like, okay, that's Midway. I see my high school. I think that's Mom's house. Oh, I still call it the Sears Tower. I don't know what the name is now, but you know, I try to trace the outlines of my city and find all the neighborhoods. That's what I'm doing. I do that every time. I'm like looking, it's like there's the lake, and do I see the planetarium, and there's my school. I think I can see everything. So yeah, I'm tracing my life over that city, and it always feels good. It really does.
Okay, I was coming in tonight because, as I said to you, I haven't been here since the Oprah show ended. I was at the United Center, and then I came in.
Oprah was one from the cold. She's like, bye, y'all, it's cold.
But coming in and all the banners around the stadium for Becoming, people lined up to come in. I mean, I was thinking about your parents, your father in particular. No one could have ever imagined from 7436 Euclid Avenue, South Euclid Avenue, that this would be happening.
Not in a million years, no.
Yes, that it would be happening.
Yeah. And of course, I missed all that because I still come in the back way, through the freight elevator, by the garbage.
You gotta see it.
That has been my life for the last decade.
You gotta see it on the way out.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna ask my security, can we go out the front door? Just so I can see my sign. I'll be like, ma'am, I'm sorry. Get in the car.
You know, I have to say that from the first page of this book until the last, you did it. You brought it, you opened yourself up, you allowed us to see in, and let us experience the fullness of you in a way that I don't think anybody has ever done before, particularly who's been in the White House. And it's why I chose it as an Oprah's Book Club selection. And
thank you, by the way.
Well, you didn't need it, but okay. Everybody was going to buy the book anyway, so I understand. Thank you. This is the truth, though. Anytime you're looking at life from the outside in, it always looks like life is better over there, out there, up there. And you and your father used to do with the family what my father used to do in the Deuce and a Quarter, drive around.
Take that aspirational ride
Take
around
that
the neighborhood.
Particularly on Sunday.
Yeah,
Looking at other rich people's houses.
We
White
did that.
people. Yes. And the truth is, it doesn't get any bigger than the White House. But what you allowed us to see is that it isn't always as it seems, and that the White House is really a paradox. I'd like for you to paint the picture for us of life inside.
The White House?
Yes.
Wow. I describe it as like living in the fanciest hotel, and you have your elevator that takes you up to your room, and there's a lobby where all the action is going on, and that's the central floor. What you see on TV about the White House, the state floor, That's not the private residence. That's where all the official stuff goes on, where the red room and the blue room and the green room and all the rooms are, the east room. That's the ceremonial floor. But then up the next floor, there are 2 more floors that are the residence. And those floors are private to the families who live there. And once you get in that elevator and you come up to that floor and those elevators open, and there's usually an older black gentleman in a tuxedo who is worked at the White House for decades, often through
Is he standing there with a drink of refreshment?
No, no. Just with a lovely smile.
Okay.
You know. Although you could have them do that too.
At any time.
I never thought of that.
At any time of the day.
Now.
At any time of the day and night, can you just say, I'd like some refreshment?
You know, you can, but then you realize, I write about this,
yes,
that you pay for it, right? So they tell you you can order anything, and they listen very carefully because everybody listens to every word that the president says. And I used to tell Barack, don't say you want something, because then we'll have like thousands of it. You know, and then we're paying for it. So if
I know, it was a shock.
If he said he liked some rare fish, he just happened to say, this is delicious. And then we get the bill at the end of the month, and it's like, you flew that fish in from China? It's like, that fish wasn't that good.
Listen, everybody,
like, don't say you like that fish.
Everybody's just getting the book today, so I can see the surprise on people's faces when you hear her say that they had to pay for it.
Yeah, a lot of people think, you know, and this is also was sort of an interesting thing when people would say that taxpayers are paying for that. And the truth is, yes, you know, you don't pay rent and you don't pay for staff, but everything, every dish, they would count the number of peanuts that you'd eat and charge it back.
No.
So you'd get a bill at the end of it. It's not a, you know, it's not a, aw, we live in the White House, y'all. You know, I mean, this is not a complaint. It's just something that people don't understand.
But you pay for your own Charmin. You pay for your
Charmin. You pay for all your guests, the food that they eat. So all y'all who came and visited, when you were thinking, I'm just gonna take some, put it in the purse. I was like, we got the bill. No, but all the official events are paid for. There's a budget for that. But all of our private meals, all of our entertaining, whether we had family over for Thanksgiving, those things were paid for. But, you know, that's a minor part of the experience. But the house is beautiful, but it is staffed. And there are people there constantly. There are chefs and butlers. And the butlers, when we first came in, wore full formal tuxedos at all times. Wow. Black men serving people in full tuxedos.
Who've been there for presidents, like, for years.
After president, after president. Yeah. And we love the staff. The butlers are amazing. The whole staff at the White House is amazing. And one of the first things we did, because we were trying to figure out, how do you make this normal for children? You know, because Malia and Sasha were
7 and 10.
Thank you for that. You know, I won't hear the end of that. She's like, Mom didn't even know how old we were. They were young.
Yes.
And we were figuring out, how do we keep them grounded? And the first thing we thought is, like, they cannot, you know, when we're having pancakes in the morning, it's just crazy to have a man with a tuxedo come in. When you got some little girls at a sleepover and you're bringing in some water, that, you know, so we canceled the tuxedos. It's like, yo, take those tuxedos off, wear some polo shirts and some slacks. Unless we did something formal, we just sort of loosened it up a bit. But other than that, the White House does feel like a home. You know, and I always say that a house is a house. And what you bring to the home is what makes it at home. And how we lived in that home was what I remember most. And people ask, do I miss the White House? And it's like, no, I don't miss the house, because we took what was important in that house with us, and it is with us. It's family, it's values, it's the friendship. So the house is beautiful, and it's historic, and, you know, it was an honor to live there, but the people in it make it what it is.